Welcome to the Adulting Podcast. I'm Zach Peter, a naturally platinum blonde podcaster, author, and sassy self-improvement addict spewing all those burning questions you're too afraid to ask.
And I'm Abigail Fraher, an unfiltered boss babe, daylighting as a lifestyle guru, stirring the pot on social issues. We're here to help you look cute,
live well,
work hard,
and stay woke.
Together, let's conquer adulting.
Welcome back to Adulting, everybody. I'm Zach Peter.
And I'm Abigail Fraher.
How you doing, boo?
I'm good. Back in New York. Weather's the same.
Yeah. Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Are you ready for the election results? I know you've been
ready for the election. I'm nervous, actually. I'm not ready. That's a lie.
Well, I'm ready for today's episode because we're talking about hair.
Me too.
You know, I talk about hair all the time.
Well, yeah, with that naturally platinum blonde head of yours, you would,
platinum
right?
hair, which I'm going to be honest. I'm glad we're doing it over Zoom because it's like a little gross today. I haven't washed it in a little too long, which I'm probably going to...
We're not good citizens for talking about hair.
Well,
mine's filthy.
I know. I have so much dry shampoo in it. It's not a cute vibe. So today we're talking about hair. Should we announce our very special giveaway that we're doing today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we partnered with two of our favorite hair brands, Nomad Haircare and Olaplex, and we're going to be giving away over $200 worth of like hair hack therapy for like your split ends, your scalp. We have some good shampoos that we're going to be doing. We have a CBD serum. We have some great products that we're giving away on our Instagram right now. So head to the Adulting Podcast on Instagram. All you have to do is follow and comment on our latest post to enter to win. And if you guys want a bonus entry, just leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Well, it doesn't have to be 5 stars, but we hope it's 5 stars.
No, it does. It does. It's not counting if it's not 5 stars.
We're going to eliminate you. But yeah, we'll give you 2 bonus entries if you leave us a 5-star review. You're going to be entered to win Olaplex's number 3, number 4, and number 5 products, which are like the 3 that I use religiously.
Amazing.
And then we also have the Nomad Transcend shampoo, conditioner, and the Transcend serum, which does like amazing wonders for your hair. And we have the founder on today who's going to actually be like talking to us about why it's actually good for your hair. Because like you think put CBD in your body, but like why not your hair?
I mean, this is like right up your alley too, and you know I'm clueless about all that, so I'm ready to take some notes.
So should we dive in?
Let's do it. Let's introduce them.
All right, today we're breaking down all the shit your hairstylists don't tell you, but probably should. Like how to keep your color cute without using that CVS hair dye, or that the Rachel just won't look good on you because it only looks good on Rachel. We've got 3 pros on the show today, and they're going to help us save our split ends and glass up for the gram. Please welcome, first up, we have a multi-hyphenate, if I ever knew one. Her mission is to keep your hair healthy and kill those icky germs without killing your vibe. Please welcome the founder of Neat Products and Nomad Haircare, Jen Fassino.
Woo! Hello, everybody.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. This has been in the works for a while, so I'm really super excited to kind of talk about some hair and how we can help this upcoming winter season.
I know, Jen, we've been talking for like ever, and we're like, we should definitely do something, and I'm glad it's like finally happening.
Oh, I'm excited.
So our next guest is pretty much the reason Miley Cyrus's hair color has been looking so fly lately. He had some big dreams that he manifested into some really big clients, transcending his talents well beyond just color. Please welcome celebrity hair colors, Alexi Bishop.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Hi.
And lastly, this next stylist is more of my hairapist. She's one of the biggest hustlers I've ever met, and we've spent way too many nights with a little too much shamps and a whole lot of bleach. She's the reason my hair is so icy. Please welcome my colorist, founder of Studio Days, Kelli Christine.
Hey, thank you for
Hi,
having me.
Kelly.
Hey.
I love your hair today, Kelli. I love this.
I know,
Everyone's
it looks so
vibe.
good.
Everyone has
Time
like
to do it.
their products in the background. Like everybody came like studio ready.
So before we dive in, we're going to do a little icebreaker. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to have you guys all answer it for me. It kind of just gets our audience able to know you a little bit better, bring it down to a human level instead of rock star hair stars. So the first one is, who is your current hair crush? Alexi, let's start with you.
Oh God, that's a hard one.
I'm like making you pick between clients. I'm like, who is it?
I mean, not to say Miley for everything, but like she's my favorite person ever, so probably Miley.
Love it. What about her hair right now are you loving, other than the fact that you do it?
I just love that she's always changing it, and for some reason, she's always able to pull it off. Like right now, she has a mullet, and if you said 2 years ago she was gonna have a mullet, you'd be like, "Girl, okay." But like somehow she just rocks it. I don't know. It just suits her and her personality at the moment. I love it.
That's got to be like the best thing ever, having a client who can literally rock anything. You're like, "Ooh, let's do this," and they're down. Like that's got to be. They're a little your little artist there. Blank canvas every time. How about you, Kelli? Who is your current hair crush?
I would say my forever hair crush is going to be Sofia Vergara all day.
I love that. And what about hers?
I love the long hair, and I just love like her versions of like blonde to like a lighter brown, and I've just always loved her hair, and she wears great hair extensions too.
We're going to talk about that later. I'm so excited. And Jen, how about you?
Oh my gosh, I feel like in the media right now, I mean, not to be biased, but Miley is kind of taking over the mullet. I just saw that a couple other people are kind of replicating that. I also really like the really short French girl looks too. I just saw Sophia Amoruso did hers a little bit ago too, a couple weeks ago. And I really like how everyone's doing the curtain bang. I think one of the influencers that I follow the most, I've actually done her hair once or twice. Her name is Mariana Hewitt. She has like the most beautiful long curtain bangs and hair as well. So she's definitely got some good dreamy hair going on as well. So
if you
dreamy hair, I like that.
If you had to pick a mullet, would you say you're more Miley Cyrus or Joe Exotic?
Depends on the day, I guess, but I feel like we all have a little bit of both of them in us.
Right? Especially right now.
Exactly, right?
I almost considered doing Joe Exotic for Halloween.
Oh, please.
Because we're planning our family. We every year we go all out for our family Christmas card that we'd like film a video and like do a whole thing. And this year we're making my mom dress up as Carol Baskin. So I was like, I might have to dress up as Joe Exotic for one of the scenes in this year's Christmas video.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God.
But you're not.
TBD. We don't film it for another 2 weeks. So TBD.
I support that.
So Jen, do you want to explain the benefits of putting CBD in hair care? Because like you and I have talked about this, but I feel like it was such an innovative idea that I haven't seen. Like we see CBD in skincare and we see CBD in like the tinctures that I put in like my coffee every morning. But like, can you talk about why you decided to create the Nomad brand and like how that, how CBD became part of the process?
Oh, for sure. So I've been a hairdresser for over 13 years. And so the reason I came up with the line in general is because I'm actually allergic to silicone and a couple fragrant ingredients and a couple other ingredients that just really irritate my skin. And so when you're a hairdresser working behind the chair, the more and more products you use, you kind of start to develop like sensitivities. And so mine in particular is silicone, which isn't literally everything. It's the ingredient that makes hair very like silky, slippery, smooth. It gets rid of fuzz, split ends, and anything like that. So I kind of researched that and I'm like, wow, like my skin is breaking out and I had like rashes all over here because my hair was long. So fast forward, I moved to Los Angeles from Wisconsin just to find a little bit of a better area to make the product. And I chose CBD because CBD is very, very high in omega-3, 6, and 9, which is an omega fatty acid. It's a building block to your hair and skin structure already. And it was very natural and I didn't have a reaction to it. And it did the same performance as silicone as the distillate. And that's why I supplemented that with silicone. And so at the time, I had been working on this for 4 years. And then when it came time to launch, the industry blew up. Like it was a very big coincidence. It wasn't something, a trend I was riding on. I just was very, very fortunate to kind of get in at that time. I didn't really discuss it with too many people because I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. They're like, is this pot you're putting in your hair? I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, so it was a huge coincidence that has, it's benefited my hair, my skin. I mean, this is all I pretty much just use my own product. So it's really helped my hair grow. It's helped it, my color, everything. It's kind of great.
Alexi, is Miley putting CBD in her hair?
Sometimes, but she is also allergic to a lot of products. And so it's hard to kind of bring in new products. There's, tends to be a list of products that she has and she likes using. And so I've used it once or twice, but it's hard to bring in new products to be using every time.
How long have you been in LA now? Because you came out to LA, and I know for a while you were with Justin Anderson's studio, and then now you've branched off and you kind of like built your own. You're starting to build your own little hair empire yourself.
Yeah, I moved out here 6 years ago all by myself when I was 16 from Alaska, and I moved here to go to beauty school at Sassoon, and then I was working at the Chris McMillan salon, and then I was assisting Justin for about 3 years, which is really crazy because I would never have thought you'd assist somebody for 3 years, but that's just kind of how it happened. But now I currently work at 901. Nick and Mariana, the two owners, are absolutely amazing. I love them. And yeah, it's been a journey, but it's been a long one.
I love it. I love the hustle. I know, Kelli, we've had so many in-depth conversations about like your hustle and struggle. And I know for me personally, kind of just seeing the new studio, the new studio that you've built, which is like 2 stories, and it's so gorgeous. It's like so Instagram worthy. Like, was this always something that you wanted to do, was to own your own studio, Kelli?
Actually, no. I always said I wanted to be like an educator. I got into hair like 14 years ago. So when I was in hair school, like it was just a different world. It's like Instagram wasn't around, and you know, you worked with a brand and you were exclusive with that brand and you worked up in that brand and then you traveled for education, but now they don't need to do that anymore. So I don't know. It just kind of like doors open up as, you know, you're working and your wants change. So yeah, but no, I love my new space and it's really exciting.
Breaking up with your old wireless provider just got a whole lot easier thanks to Mint Mobile. They were the first company to sell premium wireless services online only, and now Mint Mobile is introducing their unlimited data plan for just $30 a month. Let that sink in. An unlimited data plan for $30. How much is your soon-to-be ex-wireless provider charging you? My last provider, not gonna drop any names because I'm not that shady, but they're trying to charge me more than double that per month just to have a phone line. I got my new plan with Mint Mobile, and I can't wait to reap in all the unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data on the nation's largest 5G network. Keep your phone number, keep your phone, keep all your existing contacts. Join me and let's tackle this adulting thing together. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $30 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/adulting. That's mintmobile.com/adulting. Cut your unlimited wireless bill to $30 a month at mintmobile.com/adulting. So we've had like a million conversations about so many celebs, and especially like the Kardashians, because I'm like, when I first came in to see Kelli, I was like, I want the Kim Kardashian blonde, and I want it in like 2 hours, and I just want, you know, that sleek, like straight blonde hair. And Kelli laughed at me, and she's like, that's all extensions and wigs. Can you talk about, like, can we pull the curtain back and like talk to us about how we get that perfect Kardashian-esque hair at home? Is it even possible, Jen, for us to have that perfect hair on our own without a stylist, or do we need to call one of you up?
I love this question. This is when I still do work behind the chair. I have a salon back in Wisconsin, but when I do house calls in Los Angeles, every woman wants this look. And I'm like, girl, this is a weave. This is not real. This is all lies. This is camera tricks, angles, whatever.
Or it's a wig. Like when they're a lot of times their hair's in wigs and you're like, it's a great wig, but
it is. And these wigs, like, and I mean, I can probably speak for the other 2 hairdressers in the room too. Like when we have a client that requests that, this isn't, you know, no $50 wig. This is like, woo, you're paying money for that. So, you know, you custom cut and color, and everything's fitted too. Like the lace fronts are really, you know, expensive. But I feel like a lot of those people have very expensive teams behind them. They have a professional hairdresser like that lives with them essentially, because they're always on call, makeup artists. So they're always camera ready. So if I were to advise somebody to kind of attain that at home or achieve that look at home, I would really do your research on, you know, how to find a really good wig, or call your hairdresser and have them custom make one, because they're all custom to the celebrities that are wearing them. And I would say there's a lot of good products behind that as well too. Like I know a super popular one that's trending right now is Dream Coat by Color Wow or Color Wow. I've used it a couple times in my hair, and I'm like, oh my God, like, is this even my hair? Like, so that's a big one too. But most of the people that I talk to personally that want that, I'm like, girl, you better wish in one hand and shit in the other, because it's not going to happen. It's not yours.
I love that. It's so true. I used to run salons. And so I obviously have never done hair personally, but I've dealt with the customer service aspect of it. And you people coming in and they're like, here's my inspo. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's not going to happen. But it's like, so how do you guys do that? How do you see, if you see someone's inspo and you're like, oh, hell no, how do you tell them that? Like, because the worst thing I think is when someone tries to give you that when they know it's never going to work out. How does that work?
I mean, for me personally, I can't speak for everyone. I always like to try to under promise, you know, because realistically at the end of the day, if you're going to say, yeah, girl, I can get you there, and then it's not there, they're going to be like, what the, can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You're going to hear Abigail drop an F-bomb like every other
I know. I'm like, I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
Like, it's not the same. So like, I always be like, realistically, like, I can't promise I'm going to get you there. Also, realistically, we might be having to cut off a lot of hair. So I just try to always like, and I'm like, they have somebody, every single time you see these celebrities, they have somebody styling it. You know what I mean? Right. So sure, every time if you go get a blowout, every time you leave the salon, your hair looks good and silky and smooth and all the lusciousness, you know? So if you were to have somebody styling it every single day like that, that would also be a different story. And
but when you're using your Revlon hair dryer, like, you know, it's just, it's not gonna work. Your old, like, beady $20 hair dryer is not.
Anything you buy on Amazon for $20 is just not gonna work.
Throw it away.
No, ma'am.
Oh gosh. So, and also most of the time there's filters on these photos that you find on Pinterest. You're like, honey, it's not that, that's not what it looks like.
I think that's like my biggest pet peeve is when people show me a picture and I'm like, or they're like, brightness is all the way down on their phone and they're showing you a photo. I'm like, let's turn that up, honey. They're like, oh, I didn't even know my phone could do that. And like, you know, it's interesting because people want to show you pictures all the time. And I love when they show me a filter photo and then I actually have that saved in an album for inspiration. And I'm like, this is actually what it looks like. And I think it's also just ask them straight up, like, okay, how much maintenance do you want? Do you want to be in here every 3 weeks? Do you want to be in here every week? Like I have clients I see twice a week to obtain their color and extensions. And, you know, it's a lot of work. So
is there like a time frame? I know for us, Kelli, we've extended how long we do bleaches because like we're trying to preserve my scalp. Yeah. But is there like a time frame when you should be getting like your color touched up? Like how long should you be getting your hair? How long should you wait to get your hair colored, and how long should you wait to get your hair cut to keep it healthy and look cute?
Well, I think that's like subjective to what you have going on. And it's also just your own personal maintenance plan. Like if my clients want to only come in twice a year, I'm not going to give them a color that's like going to require much more maintenance than that. If they want to come in a lot more often, I think that's just like the important question to ask is like, how much maintenance do you want to give to your life? You know, what's your lifestyle like? So, yeah.
Do you guys recommend, because we talked about celebs and having wigs and extensions, do you recommend those for like the average person, or do we need to save those for the Kardashians that are on camera so often? Alexi, do you want to take that one?
I mean, I feel like everybody, especially here in LA, want extensions, which I want everyone to have extensions. I want extensions, you know, I support that. But especially with the Kardashians, they're doing like, again, wigs, which realistically, the everyday person isn't going to want to, A, spend the amount of money for that, or B, they're not going to want to put on a wig, and it's not going to look realistic, you know? All the Kardashians have face paint to blur the, you know, the lace and make it look more natural, but I think I always recommend clip-ins, especially if somebody doesn't have extensions already or hasn't ever tried them. I say just like start with like 1 or 2 pieces, you know, with clip-ins and see how you like it. If you like it, do a little more, and then if it's like something you are doing every day, then you can like look into a little more permanent kind of extensions. But I always recommend clip-ins at first because it gives you a good amount of hair really easily.
What is your thoughts on the most healthy type of extensions?
I think
I know everyone has like a different favorite, but like your personal experience.
I like the individuals, which are the good one, which I know a lot of people are like, that damages the hair, which I think all extensions can very easily damage your hair if they're not applied correctly. The client isn't taking care of it, because a lot of times that is a lot of where the damage happens with extensions is clients not taking care of it, because you come in and it's completely like dreadlock in the back. And you're like, girl, have you not been brushing your hair? They're like, I try. But I'm like, you can't do just try.
It's not that I try.
To make sure. Because then it's like all the tugging and pulling, trying to get that out is also going to pull on their hair and cause some damage. But again, everyone, has their own method that they like. But again, it's kind of you maintaining it is also a huge part of keeping your hair healthy and growing underneath them.
Jen or Kelli, did you guys want to weigh
anyone
in on
else?
We're gonna have fun today. I feel like with these questions are good.
I kind of feel the same as Alex. I mean, I think it's really just it's maintenance. Like it's how who you pick to put them in, what if they pick the right type for your hair and your lifestyle. If somebody gets a certain type of extension and then they don't want to come in for 6 months, their hair is going to be damaged. But yeah, all extensions can cause damage to an extent, even clip-in extensions. So it's just about having those real conversations. And like you said earlier, Alex, just like under promising. And then I always like start with a little, like if they just want to test the waters, I'll throw one bundle of extensions individuals in their hair and wear it. And then we can always add more, but I never want to give anything to anyone more than they can like handle. So sure.
And they can't handle much.
True.
So why don't we round table it and I want you guys to give me like the one thing, like if we could pick a stylist's brain and get like the shit that you wish your clients actually knew, whether it's about color, cut, maintenance, what would you say is like the number one thing you wish consumers understood more? Jen, do you want to start? And
there's not 3 layers in a layered haircut.
Yes.
Just like 3 layers.
One here, one here.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I mean, even before I was a hairdresser, that's not something that ever popped into my mind. But I hear that because I cut in color, I'm like a dual stylist, will call myself. I don't specialize, but that seems to be popular. Every once in a while, I hear that people are like, I want layers, and they're like, okay, well, I want 3, so I want like to start here and then here. You know what I mean? Like that's a very, very
I saw that in Ohio last weekend. I swear to God, I saw that. I did.
That's probably the funniest. The other thing too,
me.
like I don't see it a lot, but I've heard people like the grow out stage. Like some people, like if you do like a blonde and you have your consultation, and again, if that's something they want, if they have the budget to be blonde and they can come in every 4 weeks, then that's great. And so I've seen a couple people when they come in, they're like, well, I have this line that's coming in and I don't know, that wasn't there when you did it. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you can fix that. And I'm like, oh, honey, no. So that's really funny to me too. But
Alexi, what's yours?
Well, I have a million, but
we could go on all day.
I think a huge one is when girls don't want to cut their hair, especially blondes. They're like,
yes,
they're saving on to like 3% of their hair is that long.
What ends?
That's one piece, and they're like
the tail,
like looking in the mirror, like, do you see that how long it is? Like, I want it all to be that length. I'm like, okay,
my boyfriend likes it long.
Or that.
Oh yeah, I bet he does until you have hair extensions.
Mm-hmm. Like little like out ends, and they're like, I don't want to cut. And I'm like, girl, your hair will not grow if you don't cut it. I heard this one time and it made so much sense. It's like your hair's like string cheese. It's gonna split up, and break off shorter. Versus if you cut it, it's just gonna continuously to grow healthy. But like, when girls are wanting their hair to grow, like the last thing they want to do is cut it. They're gonna be like, why would I cut it? So I'm like, okay, your hair, just letting you know, will not grow. You are wanting to be this blonde and don't want to cut it. So that's one of the main ones.
Love that.
Kelli?
I would say something that I'm like that's been really bothering me lately is people not realizing how important scalp health is in regards to like making sure helping your hair grow, especially with COVID, like everyone's dry shampooing a lot. And I am seeing a lot of my clients come
Zack.
way healthier hair.
Guilty charge.
Zack is great at scalp health. Let me tell you, he's good. But it's just super important, to clean your scalp. It's like you don't want to be clogging those pores, and also stimulate, because you got to get all the nerve endings underneath the scalp moving, and that's like the circulation is going to help promote the growth. So
how do you stimulate?
People recognize that.
How do you stimulate? Because I think we think clean is just like washing.
You want to clean it, yeah. Actually, the DP Hue, the ACV, that one is really, really good. I also like there's another one from Malibu that I'll throw in my client's hair, which very often after I rinse their highlights for their scalp, some scalp therapy just to get everything really cleansed. And if they have a lot of buildup on their hair. Another thing is that like girls don't know this, and this is just the simplest thing, but washing your hair twice, especially when you haven't washed it for days on end, tons of product.
Thank you.
First wash, just to get some of it off. Second, clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes I do 3 washes on myself, you know? So it's, I think people are like, oh, wow. Or like girls will text me and be like, oh my God, that helped so much. My extensions just felt so dirty. And I'm like, probably because they were dirty.
They were probably filthy. So on that, what do you suggest as far as like how many times to wash your hair a week?
I would say
I'm at 2 and I don't know. Now I'm like, maybe that's not
You wash
enough.
your hair twice a week?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm lucky if I wash my hair once a week.
Is good.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
3 times?
2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times. Oh, okay. Perfect. And I do the double wash every time.
Experts think that.
Wait, but so then why is it totally gross that I only wash my hair once a week? You can say it.
no, you have
I'll just dock your tip next week.
Does it smell?
Your hair is blonde, so it's soaking up all those oils
So
for you.
what I do, so I wash it, I do a deep wash once a week, and then in between I do the DP Hue rinse, or I do a dry shampoo. So I'm technically, I don't know if that's considered washing it twice a week, but I do a deep like shampoo and conditioned wash once a week. Is that too little? Because I want to keep the color preserved. Otherwise, I feel like if I wash it too much, it yellows.
You're a little bit of, part of the exception to some of the rules because of your hair. And because you also like know that your hair is bleach blonde and you have a ton of it. And it's like, if your hair was dark, you would wash it a lot more. Where, you want to preserve your bleach ass blonde hair that I spend hours and hours and hours and hours.
She really does. We spend so much time doing my hair.
You guys has the thickest hair ever, and it's literally a level 1, like black. Black is night. And yeah. And then it hurts him, obviously, but I literally, I don't do bleach and tones on many people, but I mean, look at your hair, but your hair's probably not as hard to lift as Zach's is.
Definitely not. And I'm trying more of the natural golden route because normally I'm the same color as his, but I have really curly hair.
Ooh.
And my hair was neon blue, really short. And so a lot of the ends are completely see-through. And so I was like, I need to be filling that with a little gold. So I was like, I think it's time for a more natural kind of gold.
I like it. It looks good.
Thank you. But what do you tone his with? It's so amazing.
Oh, honey, we tone and tone.
I just have to say, before you answer that question, I just have to say, I had so many stylists say, absolutely not. I'm not going to touch your hair. Like so many would, because it was so dark and thick. They were like, no, thank you.
Yeah, and retouching that is impossible not to overlap. So it's fun. Zach just knows, he respects the process. He understands that like it takes a lot of like work on his end to keep and maintain this. And he understands he has to book out like a whole day for me. And he sits with Olaplex in between like our second round of bleaching and toning, like for like an hour. And I'll check on him and I'll do another client. I'll be like, are you okay? How you doing? Do you hate me? I give him champagne.
No, it's so funny because so many people.
As long as he gets the champagne.
As long as I get some drinks. It's so funny because so many people come to me and be like, what is that color? Like, can I just do? And they think it's like I thought it was like a 2-hour process. I was like, oh, 2 hours is a long time. No, I'm with Kelli for like 6 to 7 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a great, I think on that topic, let's talk about the stages of blonde. Because I feel like most people that do want to go like blonde have darker hair. Like, can we talk about that? Because I think that that's really an underknown fact that like it's rare to get your hair Zach's color blonde from that black in one sitting.
Absolutely. Well, to circle back with your question, that's a good answer too. When people come in their chair and they think that they can just leave in like an hour or two and have that, and depending on like the level of your hair. So, hairdressers in layman's terms, like we're trained to like realize what your natural color is and what your expected color is. And so there's a process in between to like meet those two ends. And it's individual for each person. Like there's no like set formula that's like, oh, yeah, this is the blonde formula. It's literally so different. So that's the thing. We should really educate people is on average. I mean, doing clients, it's between 6 to 10 hours, maybe plus depending on the length of hair, how much you want to preserve it, or like the damage level too. So, it's a lot of chemistry and a lot of thought and patience goes into it. And if you're not going to keep it up, like I'll just be honest and tell a client, like, I would much rather not do your hair because I know if they don't maintain it, it's going to look like shit. And then they're walking around town and people
telling people you did their hair.
Right? Oh yeah. Like when you go to the mall or like you're at the coffee shop and you eyeball a bitch with bad hair, you're just like, oh my God, like who did your hair? And I would just much rather say no and not take the money because I'd be like, ooh, you're not going to be a good fit for me, honey.
It's the maintenance in between that people don't realize. Like, it's not just the one-time bleach that you have to worry about.
No,
it's the hours of maintenance and product. Like, the reason I only wash my hair once a week is because the process of washing and toning my hair is also, like, it's a whole day.
No, and so Alexi actually colors my hair. I've been in Los Angeles for 4 years. I just moved to Austin, Texas, like 2 months ago. And so he colored my hair. My hair was super, super dark. And it took him like 2 times to get a nice color. And then we just did a face frame. So you can see like my hair is normally, I'm a brunette. I'm pretty dark. So he's like my hair god. And so it's like, it takes time and it's to preserve the length. Cause I mean, I like to, try to get that long hair wagon as well. So yeah, it's definitely a process. So,
and the color doesn't stay the same. Like my color changes over the weeks that I don't see Kelli. That like you have to tone it, and you have to, and like the color you walk out with and the color you walk back in with are 2 very different colors when you're getting it bleached.
Color oxidizes. So like even there'll be times when I'm like blow drying someone's hair, we curl it, and then I'm starting to take pictures, and I'm like, oh, it's already like starting to oxidize and change a little bit, and giving someone hair, that like for you, Zach, we overtone your hair. Your hair sometimes looks like grayish white before you leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's so that it looks like that in 2 weeks,
And the water, like depending on where you live and what's in your water has a lot to do with it.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Are there things that we can do in between bleaches to maintain the integrity and color of your hair? Alexi, do you want to start with that one?
Yes.
Since you are a naturally blonde like me.
He knows the struggle.
I think getting a filter for your shower head is huge. I think some people may have good water and it won't do much, but there's some people, especially if it's an older building or more so in the city, that water has a lot of minerals in it, like iron and copper and like anything from the rust in the pipes. Like that over time is going to affect not only your hair, but your skin. I thought I always had good water, but I also was constantly just toning my hair because I was able to, and so I never had a problem. But I put a raindrop from 901 shower filter head, and I mean, I noticed a difference in my hair, but also my skin. I was like, oh, my skin feels much better now. And so I definitely think having a filter is huge, especially for blonde hair, because the water, it might not look like it when it's coming out of the shower head, but like, it can be kind of dull, and like that's gonna be dulling to your, like it's gonna dull out your hair.
Jen and Alexi, have you ever had a client come in, especially in LA, and just have like a ring right here of like discoloration or like green, like film in just like this circle, and I can tell it's just their water head when they're sitting there in the shower. Oh my God, I had this. Oh my gosh, and I was like, girl, this is the problem. Stop sitting under the water head or move. I don't know. Move out of your building. Like,
I'd have been like, what's on your pillow, girl?
Yeah. Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, ew, does she not clean her pillowcase?
I have satin pillowcases to keep my hair strong.
Yes.
Is that a rumor? Or is that what Macy's just tells me to do? To like take my money?
Oh, what is it? Silk?
Satin and silk.
I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You go.
I mean, it is clever marketing, but I mean, when you think of it from like a material standpoint, I mean, I deal with manufacturing and ingredients and like raw material. And I mean, if you think of it in layman's terms, like silk and satin are smooth. And so there's not going to be that much friction. Cotton is very like porous and absorbs. and it causes friction. I mean, it's hella soft, but satin is just like that really good slip. So when your hair, I mean, it's good marketing, but there's also some, good backing behind it too. So I will say I'm a sucker.
But I like sleeping on cotton better personally. Like I just like, I'll get a new silk one. I've tried the expensive ones, a lower, and like, I just personally don't like sleeping on silk. But I think it's also important to like, not like brush your hair before you go to bed, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you have to like take care of your hair before you go to sleep. Just like you don't want it sitting on your skin and having your skin break out or have like things that are going to be irritating your skin. It's kind of the same thing. Like, I think you just try different things and see what works for you,
Okay. So we have shower filters, satin pillowcases, brush your hair before bed. Is there any other hack that you guys want to spill before we move on to the next one?
I think having products that are clear or white. One thing that I learned when I was assisting Justin Anderson, and it makes so much sense. And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't think about this before, but especially for blondes, they're all like, my hair gets so dull. I'm like, well, what are you using on it? And they're like, Moroccan oil. And I'm like, girl. For somebody with darker hair, great product, love Moroccan oil. I have some of their other products, but like their oil is kind of like an orangey yellow color. And so I'm like, you have to treat your blonde hair, specifically blonde, like a white t-shirt. Would you ever wash your white t-shirt in water the color of yellow? Anything tinted in the slightest yellow? Like you'd be like, absolutely not. I'd rather wash it in bleach. You know what I mean? And so I think having a product that has no pigment, again, white or clear, doesn't have any hue of yellow on it, because you're, essentially washing your hair in yellow water or whatever. So that's going to dull it out.
So should I wash my hair in bleach? Is that what you're telling me to do right now?
Sure.
Try it out, Zach.
You can go see Alex next. Wash bleach.
Well, Kelly, one thing I learned from you though, Kelly, is that you even sweat when you're blonde, like the girls that tie their hair up and then sweat a lot when they work out, that even the sweat, because like when you have armpit sweats and white t-shirts, it turns yellow.
I love that. Or they come in and they're like, my hair is like turning really brassy right here. I'm like, bitch, that's your bronzer that you've been like.
Right, your makeup. Wash your fucking face. That's so true. So true. Like, why are you putting foundation on your hair?
Wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Love that. Oh my God, when I get my spray tans, they're like, will you pull your cap back slightly? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, it's fine. I'll blend the line out. But no, you're not spraying my hair with spray tan.
Yeah.
Is there any two like products that you guys, obviously Jen, I'm sure you have them from your line that you would recommend, but like what are two like can't live without products?
I love it. See it? It's clear. There's
no shameless plug. I love it.
All my clients.
And you can win it right now. And you can win it right now on our Instagram.
I'll send you some. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. No, because I, as a hairdresser too, I have like cumulative allergies developed over time, and like everything that's in every hair product, color, hairsprays, whatever, I'm like allergic to everything. And I get like rashes and my ears and like everything. So, and like, even for me, like I used to like, when people would complain about color on their scalp, I'm like, chill. But now even if I put like a Shades EQ gloss on my scalp, I'm like irritated, it's crazy. So I'm super excited to try your products because I love
we'll send you a gift basket for the talk today. But no, that's one reason why I chose clear with my product as well too, because you're always taught that as a hairdresser, like anything will tint it. You don't want to, anything to affect the blondes. But I would say, yes, I'm partial to my line just because I made it for me pretty much. And then people that I worked with as clients really liked it. So that's how I started producing more of it. But I'd say my favorite products, like I'm obsessed with Kevin Murphy. When I owned a salon, that's what I carried. I love Kevin Murphy. My favorite one would probably be like their dry shampoo, the fresh hair. It smells like, oh my God,
heaven.
Oh my God. All their stuff, and their shampoo is really good. Obviously Orbe dry texture spray is like a given, like just to kind of get good texture. But I also really like Davines shampoo, like Shumura shampoo. God, there's so many as a hairdresser. I can't just pick one. Like, I don't know. There's something good from every line. And so that's why I could never work for a brand, because I was always that person that's like, I'm very loyal and everything else, but it's like, I'm just so curious with so many other products because you can't just, pick and, you don't want to just pick one thing. You want to explore. So I don't know if you guys feel the same, like what are your faves?
Alex, you go.
I got just for like products.
Yeah, like I mean, if they ask like those are my faves. I don't know. There's so many.
Or even if it's not a styling product, like do you guys have like a favorite hair health product? Like for me, I love like the Hum Nutrition hair gummies. Abigail's knows like I take them religiously.
Exactly. Yes.
I have like different hair health supplements that I take. Are there any of those, Aleksey, that you like to recommend either for yourself or for your clients?
I do like for like hair growth pills. I do like Viviscout, Nutrafol. Those are really good. One of my clients the other day was like raving about this like hair pill that she uses, and she was like, "All my hair grew back." Blah blah blah. It's like, "Oh, what is it?" She was like, "Nutrafol." I was like, "Oh, we sell that here. I'm glad to know it works." But I mean, there's literally, I have so many colors. I have just so many products and so many kinds. But I think I always just say, you need a clear oil. I always say,
I love it.
No one ever puts oil on their hair, and I think that's the biggest mistake because you're constantly, the ends are the driest of your hair.
Right.
You can only wash it once a week.
Yeah, and you never put oil on the driest part that needs it, and you're constantly washing away the oil that you don't have on the ends.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say, as long as it's clear, whatever oil.
I have a question about oils though, because I know for me, when I would first get my hair bleached, I would always, and this was before I even saw Kelli, because there was like a 3-month period where like I was getting my hair bleached without Kelli, and it wasn't my favorite time in the world. But I would get it bleached and toned, and I would put coconut oil in it, and then I realized the coconut oil was lifting the toner, so it was turning my hair yellow. Is there like a ratio of like how and when and types of oils that we should be looking out for, Aleksey?
I didn't know that about coconut oil. I mean, I've never been a fan of coating my hair in coconut oil. Just I was like, I don't know if it's doing anything. I was like, I don't know. It just feels like it's just like laying on the top layer of my hair versus other oils I feel like
absorbing, right?
Yeah.
But really, it was lifting out your color?
I mean, granted, I was like dousing my hair in coconut oil and leaving it on for like 20 minutes and then washing it out. And I don't think I didn't have a great colorist that like gave me great tips and advice. So I did a lot of my own sort of research. And then I realized there isn't shit about how to keep your blonde hair. Like most people, the only articles I found were like on, Birdie. And it's like, I bleached my hair one time and then never did it again. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help me because I'm going to keep doing this. Mm-hmm. Kelli, do you have any oil tips?
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly with what Jen and Alex said, just you need to find a good oil that works for you. I think that like going back to kind of what you just touched on, Zach, when you research on the internet, products are so subjective to the person's situation. And I always say like products are like wine. There's like, I might love a product and I can suggest it to you, but you might hate it. So I think it's just about like finding the best product, being open to like I learned from my clients. They'll come and be like, oh, I tried this amazing new hair pill, blah, blah, blah. And like, I recommend it to other people and it works for half of them and some of them it doesn't work for. So I think it's just important to like stress that to your client that just like there's so many different options and we all like different design aspects and colors and things in our life. We like different, music. It's the same thing goes for hair products. They're going to work differently. And also sometimes you're not maybe using the product the right way. So oftentimes I'll have my clients, I'm like, if you have a ton of products, bring them all into me and I'll tell you, we'll throw some out, we'll choose some and I'll teach you how to use it properly. Because there's amazing products. And like what Jen said, I don't think that there's one line that makes everything that's amazing. Sure. It's like little bits from here and there, which I love that our industry is that way now because, a decade ago, it was like you would have to stay exclusive to one brand and it was like kind of looked down on, but everybody kind of was using everything behind closed doors kind of a thing. But now it's like everyone is more open and real about like, okay, yeah, we're using all the things, So I think it's just important to keep trying. And when you have success, share your success with other people.
Abigail, do you have any favorite hair products that you use?
I love the Kevin Murphy dry shampoo. Like that's
I haven't tried
and
that.
I like their blonde shampoo as well. I like, oh my God, I don't know what brand it is. It's a mist. It's like an oil mist to help tame because my hair is naturally curly and sometimes it gets disgustingly frizzy and So, and then I actually use the Olaplex oil as well. And I like that one a lot.
It is yellow, but I like that one a lot too.
It is yellow. It is yellow.
One thing with product lines is that sometimes I love the products, but I don't like the dispenser. So I like the Olaplex is that you tap it on your hand to like.
You can control it.
Yeah, it has a lot more control. And I love all of these products, to be honest. I love their number 3. I love their shampoo. I do love their conditioner, but my only hang up, please tell me if you agree with me on this, but the bottle, it's so hard to get it out of the little bottles. Yeah. Like I have it in my salon in the big like liters. I love it. It just disperses better, but it's just too dense to like come out of those bottles in my client shower.
You're like, it's like ketchup.
I always have to keep the bottles upside down. I keep the bottles upside down in my shower, and then it makes it a little.
That was a perfect answer. I love that. You like hit everything on the head, like with education, with other stylists and people I talk to. I'm like, man, that was a really good answer. I love that. The other thing I always tell clients too, like because I'm from the Midwest and it gets cold there, a lot of products that they might see on the internet might not work the same just based on climate alone. Like if somebody lives in like Florida and it's super humid, like when you use a cream-based product or like sometimes oils and the heat factor re-solidifies and like re-warms that up, people could, sometimes oil sales don't do as well down there because people are like, wow, my hair, like with the heat, if that makes sense, like it kind of reheats up the product and people get kind of greasier. And then in drier climates, people really need the moisture, whereas a really moisturizing product in the South would not be as good for products. So I noticed that too, from a manufacturer standpoint, my products do better in certain states, which is really weird. But even as a hairdresser, I know some products are more popular than others too, based on temperature alone, which is really weird, but cool. So
since we did talk about oils, I know one of the biggest selling points for oils is split ends. And I just want you guys to put the rumor to rest, bust the myth. Is it possible to save your split ends with a shampoo, with an oil, or at all? Or is it just a nix? Is it time to just chop it off?
I think it helped to an extent, but if you don't want to split end, you got to cut that off.
Mm-hmm. One thing saving it, and don't use thermal tools. Find a look that you can achieve with like air drying your hair. Best way.
Air drying your hair is so hard. It keeps your hair healthy, but it doesn't do the style. Air drying.
See, that's all I do. I literally dried my hair before this. It's the first time literally don't ever use a blow dryer. But of course today I did. And I'm like, oh God, it's just But
just for us. That's so sweet.
I feel like it's so much better. Like I was blow drying it for a week straight one point, and like the whole side just gone, broke up. I had to cut it all off just from a week of blow drying.
Wow.
Something I've been loving about this whole COVID year is that everyone's super healthy. Like those blondes that are like just breaking, that like in between visits with you, they go to the dry bar every week and like it's just fried. It's like sticking straight up. It's like, it's growing. It's like down here now. And they're like, yeah, I'm just, my hair's
so much. Like I just don't understand. It just wasn't doing anything. Like, well, girl, there's your answer.
What is like the best time for your hair? Like what's the best season? Is there one? Is it like, oh, spring, your hair is always going to be like popping?
Or it's not really like seasons.
Right.
Really. So it's kind of like a summer fire season all the time. But yeah, we don't really have seasons in LA. So that's another thing people like when they come out from the Midwest or they come out from New York and they're like, my hair's changed out here. And I'm like, yeah, well, even in the car, your hair's getting damaged because if you have a sunroof or like a lot of times I'll see like this side of somebody's head, if they drive a lot in the car, like their highlights will be a lot more brassy on this side than this side because it's getting that direct sunlight. It's just things like, it's the littlest things to be cognizant of that like, okay, this could be affecting my hair,
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys tell a client that like maybe a certain color or a certain style isn't necessarily going to work for them? Because I feel like there are too many. Because like for me as a client, I like when I come into Kelli and she's like, no, don't use this product, use this product. And I feel like there are so many stylists out there that just do what you tell them to do. How do you or do you guys tell them like, hey, maybe, that hairstyle isn't going to work for your skin tone or for the shape of your face?
Oh, all the time. I feel like Yeah, you have to be blunt. That's being a good hairdresser. That's doing like your due diligence with your brand as you and your clients, because if you don't tell them no, they're going to walk all over you, and you're going to have that billboard walking around, and people are going to be like, ooh, who did their hair? That's really bad. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I just don't be afraid to talk shit back to them if they're going to try to boss you around. I mean, you have to tell them no. It's for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for their benefit, not yours. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course you don't want to tell people no. You want to do a good job and whatever. But if it's going to be awful and they want unicorn hair, but they're going to wash their hair 4 times a day and they're not going to come in.
They don't want to come in. They only want to spend,
$20. Yeah. It's
What can you get me for $200? Nothing.
They want Kardashian hair on a super cuts budget.
Right.
Oh, I want it.
So to close out the show, or to close out the conversation, I feel like you guys are all such hustlers and are so inspirational just with the businesses that you've built individually. Can you leave us with like one piece of advice or one lesson that you learned when it came to building your business? It doesn't have to be hair specific, but just like the hustle that you learned. I mean, making it with hair in LA, and even some of the clients some of you guys have, like, that's not easy to do. Alexi, do you want to kick it off with the one lesson you learned by, building this empire that you're building?
One lesson is trying to never say no. And to an extent, if you don't have time, then you don't have time. But I always just think of one like specific time. Is one time I was leaving the salon, I was really late. Justin, who I was assisting, was like, hey, have you left? And I was like, God, do I lie and be like, yeah, I already left, so I don't have to go back. But I was like, yeah, but I can go back if you need me to, because like Chris Appleton wants his hair colored. And I was like so nervous. I was like, I have to open the salon all by myself. Like, no one's there. I was like, I almost said no. But because I said yes, went and did it, I was able to help make Kim blonde the second time. I helped make Kylie blonde for her 21st birthday. And I colored all of Kim's extensions while she was blonde this past time, or the ways.
How long did that take?
The blonde?
All those blondes, lots of work, lots of time, I'm sure.
Hours.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at Kim's till like 2:30 in the morning, And like, even then, it took 2 days, because I helped initially bleach it all out. And then he loves to bring in other people to help him finish the job.
Yeah. I think we saw that on filming of the Kardashians. Under her hat, she was like in between the 2 days, and it was it was the middle phase. It was orange. That's what you have to get as you're going up.
Sure. So yeah, if I had said no to him, I wouldn't have been able to meet Kylie, Kim, or color some of J-Lo's extensions always, So I think it was such a little moment that could have made so many things not happen if I had said.
Right.
So I think
such a little moment, but it's actually a huge moment. It leads to huge things. Yeah.
Because I also think our culture conflates like this. Like, I think you need to find a fine balance between self-care and hard work, because I think we think that sometimes we're just like, I had a long day. I'm just going to take the next 3 days off and not work because I love me. And it's like, yeah, bitch, but do you love your dreams? Because you got to go make them happen. Unless, yes, you need to take a little break, but at the same time, there are some opportunities that you really have to weigh the benefits of the pros and cons with. Kelli, what would you say your lesson is?
I would just say trust the process, because there's going to be a lot more. You need the bad days to actually appreciate the good ones. And, when you're building, you need to respect the downtime as time to work in the business, or work on the business, so that when you are working and you're back to back and you're working, 18-hour days, you have all the support that you need. So use that time for self-care, use that time, and don't stress during that time. Just respect the process, that if you have hard work and you're talented and, the right opportunities are going to come for you. So.
I love that. Jen, what would you say your lesson is?
Man, well, I do like Alexi's answer as well. That's the reason I know Alexi, is because him and I actually work together at Chris McMill in the salon. So definitely saying yes to opportunities, whether you get paid or not to do it, is definitely, something that, especially moving from the Midwest to Los Angeles, things don't happen overnight. That's with any industry. And that's a common misconception when people come to LA, I feel like. And that's something you learn as you go. Like every day is going to be hard. Some days were easy. Like you had said as well. And so that was one thing is I would say never say no. And the other thing too, because I own a few other businesses as well as being a hairdresser, like just fucking start. Like just don't talk about it, just do it. You know what I mean? Like it could be anything. If you want to start a podcast or a product line, like if you want to do it, like you're not getting any younger, you know what I mean? So if you fuck up, who cares? Like at least do it, because if you don't do it, then you're just going to be like, well, what, I'm 80. What happened if I would have did this A, B, or C? So that's the one thing, like just get the balls to try it. And if you fail, then you'll try something else. So I would say those, those two things, like no one has it easy, and no one posts their highlight reel on the internet. So if you think someone's more successful than you, like that's bullshit. Like just do it.
I love that.
I like that.
That's a good one. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us today. Where can everybody follow you and either learn more about your salon or your product line? Alexi, do you want to pimp yourself out?
My my name on Instagram is just Aleksey Bishop, Aleksey, and then Bishop, and then and I work at 901.
Kelly.
So my hair page is at Hair by Kelli Christine, but my new studio that I just opened up in Los Angeles is at Studio Days, and I opened the space for creative stylists like you, Alex and Jen, to have like a home away from home and a private luxury space to come without the pretentious Beverly Hills, sometimes feeling. So just like a home away from home whenever you need it. So yeah.
Love it. And Jen, pimp yourself out.
So my main personal page on Instagram is Jen Fassino, but I also own Nomad Hair Care. I own Neat Products, which is a hand sanitizer brand, and I do Jen Fassino coaching and consulting, which is pretty much for men and women interested in starting their own business. I'm your little business fairy, I guess you call me, and I'll help you on your magical journey.
It's a tagline if I've ever heard one. Right? I love it.
Shameless plug, sorry, but
no, I love it. And guys, if you want to enter to win Jen's Nomad hair products and some Olaplex products, go to our Instagram at The Adulting Podcast right now. Leave us a comment, give us a follow. Also, be sure to follow not only these three incredible badass hairstylists, but also at Nomad Hair Care and at Olaplex, because they are sponsoring this giveaway, and it's a great giveaway. It's going to make your hair look cute for the gram, so you don't have to use too many filters. So go to at The Adulting Podcast on Instagram, comment, and if you want two bonus entries, leave us a review on iTunes. Abigail, what is your Instagram, and what are you going to pimp out this week?
You guys can follow me on all socials at Abigail_AF. And I'm just pimping out our podcast this week. That's what I'm focusing on.
I love it. Guys, you can follow me at Just Plain Zack all over the internet, on all the socials, and justplainzack.com. I have a new Hack Your Hangover guide, which is available on the Adulting Podcast website right now. So go to theadultingpodcast.com. Download it right now with lots of fun fall and festive AF cocktail recipes. All right, I think that's it. Please leave us a 5-star review, because we always have to beg for those, because we love that validation as millennials. And until next week, we'll be
#adulting.
Yay.